This used to never happen. Even when it did by mistake on a hot mic, it was a big scandal. But now, it's become a way for politicians to signal the public that they are not just regular mad about something, but really fucking serious.
Oh, for sure.
Total bullshit.
An epic fuck-up.
They call it a shit show.
We need to unfuck our country.
I say to that bullshit.
Grow a fucking spine.
I can't stand the bullshit.
Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up.
And people love it. Look, a politician said fuck. It's like in a movie when they make an old white lady rap.
Hip hop, I hip it to the hip hop.
But here's the...
It does seem very inauthentic when a lot of politicians say it, because a lot of them, like when Donald Trump uses profanity, it feels normal because you know he's kind of a scumbag, right? But when some of these other people do it, you know that they're just saying it to try to be relatable.
But here's the thing. Senator Plotkin is a serious person. She's a former CIA agent. You know how every streaming action movie now is about a soccer mom who used to be in the CIA? Okay, that's really her. So we should listen to her because she's right. Lady Deadpool is right. Democrats should reclaim the flag and then get it clean because someone's been humping it.
I remember that. Yeah.
But seriously, this is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54%.
If you're so unhappy about it, then fucking leave. That's what I would say. What is this? Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know how this is even a conversation. Jesus.
They're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed. Like America's your mom picking you up at school. You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. Although don't get Tucker Carlson started on Russia. But but the U.S.
I can't imagine a political strategy working by saying that you hate the country that you want people to vote for you in. I just think that this is a tactical error. Strategic tactical error.
Is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men.
Good
Gay
for them.
Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America.
It's crazy for people like, and this is what happens, like this is your brain on TikTok. If you start actually thinking that America hates these different types of minority groups, like we're one of the most progressive countries in the world, and it's not even remotely close.
America, gays buy buildings. In other places, they get thrown off them.
Yep.
You know all those old movies you think are cringe? Well, they're cringe because America changed, because we modernized, way more than most societies have. Our current Congress is the most racially and ethnically diverse ever. They're like a beautiful, useless rainbow.
Working as intended. Yeah.
And we proudly live in a land where every TV commercial features a mixed-race couple, including the ones where it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Mom's black, dad's white, and the kid's Asian. You know. But here is the dilemma for Democrats. Their young people, their key constituency, not only don't like their own civilization, they like the wrong one. They actually think Hamas is a liberation movement. They chant for the Houthis.
Who would do that? That sounds crazy. Aren't those guys terrorists? Who would do that? That's horrible.
Chanting, "We will honor our martyrs" at Yale. They're looking for love in all the wrong countries. Someone needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, where there's zero freedom of religion, and where dissent is punishable by death. Our democracy may be on.
Yeah, they kill their own people, by the way. If you protest against Hamas, they kill you. Not so good, is it?
life support, but we still have elections. They don't. And yet at Coachella this year, when an Irish rap group projected onto screens, "Fuck Israel, Free Palestine," got big applause. Globalize the Intifada is the
Well, it's more
right
than
heroes
that.
could make
So,
all the difference.
fuck Israel, Free Palestine. I can agree with this in general.
Peace to this universe. No
What
matter
was
the
this group?
cost.
I think it was like Kneecap or something like that. I'm trying to remember the term. I just want to make sure that you guys understand, because there's a bit of context to this that's missing. Kneecap, yeah? Okay. I could have spelled it wrong. So, this is somebody right here. It's not enough that they're saying "fuck Israel." This is the person who is doing it, reading a book about.
I am no
This is, by
golden
the way,
god.
remember that
I'm simply
Twitcher
a man
terrorist
who
guy?
wishes to use
We'll be
it.
This
crying
is the
30
guy
seconds.
that every
Stay
time it was
strong.
something really smart, it was from him.
Wanda,
He ran Hezbollah, which is a terrorist organization. So I don't want anybody to misunderstand this and think that this is just simply, yeah, the scholar. Yeah, I mean, unironically he was, but he also led a terrorist organization too. And what the fuck? He's a Holocaust denier? I would have never
Battle
guessed.
starts in 5.
And anyway, well, he's not
3,
anymore because he's
2,
dead.
1.
But anyway,
You have to stop them from
this is
securing
a
the mission
person
area.
who is reading a book written by, like, this is written by a guy that's the leader of a terrorist organization. So this is not simply a criticism of Israel. This is an active endorsement of a terrorist organization live at Coachella.
your soul. You
Very big difference.
That put a spring in my step.
This time I need healing.
So I don't want people to get the wrong idea.
Globalize the Intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted.
Wow, look who's doing it.
Quantum magic. Battlefield ready again.
Double KO!
Destiny was not kind to you.
There are two groups of people in our society that cause all of our problems. 99% of our problems can be isolated down to two groups of people.
Hey, Dee! Enjoy
Isn't it crazy
I feel better already.
how often that's
some assistance, please.
wow? What are the odds?
In approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
The cosmos heals you.
It's really not a very good argument. Like, you're not going to get a lot of U.S. voters by flying the flag of another country. It just doesn't work.
Born again!
If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is doomed and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed.
Your powers are mine!
Right.
They are completely
So many
You're right.
misguided-
He's completely right about that. Is that there's a massive fissure that's happened, and I think the reason why that it's happened is that I actually understand why a lot of young people feel this way. It's because young people have felt like their opportunities and advantages in life have been systematically removed. And so they cheer and are happy for any group of people that is a destructive force to a culture that they feel like oppresses them. And the worst part about it is that they're partially right. They are. If you look at, productivity and wages, if you look at home ownership and average income, if you look at, like the Gini index of the difference between the highest income and the lowest income people, everything points to the fact that young people that are angry are right. I don't think that they're right and they should support terrorism. I don't think that's the solution, but they sure as hell can see that there's a problem. And that problem is real.
Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids.
Oh, bro, he's saying it. He's saying it. Yep.
A pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that women can have babies and such. And now I feel, we like the terrorists.
You are safe
the
now,
new
my
back.
friend.
You're welcome. Hey, Dee, enjoy the amplifier.
Man.
I feel better already.
This is my way. I got a little bit of experience with that.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit.
Relay deployed. It ain't cheap.
Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day is all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bid.
I think if they want to go join Hamas, Trump was talking about that program where we can just give them flights out there. Why don't we just fly them over there?
Deployed. It ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Pulse charge.
I'll pay for who would pay for that? I'd pay for that instantly. Finally, a good use of my tax money. Call it summer camp?
Enemies on a
I don't know about that.
Quantum magic.
Shit out America.
Because that would imply they might come back.
This time I need healing.
All American stuff. You tell your
Behold the God of Thunder!
Cosmic might
It's
return.
only $17.
into vaudeville.
Healing power. I am at your service.
You're like the girl in White Lotus who was going to live in a Buddhist monastery and then lasted one night.
I love it. It's like that lady that went to fucking Africa because she said the U.S. is racist. And she's like, I've had it with this bullshit water. I've had it with these bullshit, fucking scams. These bullshit rides. I've had it with these bullshit visitors.
Well, I leave the Guardians now?
Bullshit scorpions.
Enemies on approach.
Hey, Dee,
My second chance is over.
I say, welcome to Fun Pack. Yep, that's it. There's no lift. There's nothing. Yeah, I play it again. I know. She learned quick, and you gotta respect it, though, right? You respect it. The bullshit. Yeah, and that guy in the back, the bullshit lizards. Yeah, welcome back. Serious country. Nah, there it is. Let's see. We're gonna watch this again. This shit was. Oh God. They got this guy. Oh Jesus. Oh boy, here we go. A girl from my hometown literally joined ISIS. She's dead now. That's what you call natural selection. And before you say it, oh, should we be more sympathetic? No, I'm not going to be sympathetic to somebody who joined a terrorist organization. You get what you fucking deserve. That's what I think.
Right now, what I think happened last election is younger men, they would rather vote for somebody who even if they don't completely agree with, they don't feel judged by, than somebody who they do agree with, that they feel like they have to walk on eggshells around constantly because they're going to be judged or ostracized or excommunicated. And what's interesting about this...
He's right. He's right.
This moment is it feels like the two parties in some senses have flipped, where, Republicans used to be the judgmental assholes in many ways.
Especially in the 2000s and the 90s.
And since many Democrats, despite us, I would say for most people coming from the right place of wanting to do the right thing, we've created a culture where we say, well, if we say the wrong thing, we're excommunicated. And that's just not how human beings work. Nobody's perfect, but ultimately what we have to do here is figure out how to bring people back in and work towards the bigger goal of advancing the future of this country and helping young people especially get by so that they're able to focus on their lives and, you know, getting a young woman or something like that instead of how are they going to pay their rent, for example, or how are they working their 2 jobs. Young people should be able to focus on what young people should be focused on, which is how to get laid and how to go and have fun.
He's right. Yeah, he's completely fucking right about this. Now, in my opinion, I think that he had no problem laying down and playing dead while they did this, and it was popular. Now that they're not doing this, and now that it's popular to do the opposite, now he's saying and doing the opposite. However, it's important to at least acknowledge a change. Yes, exactly. He participated. Yes, he did.
It's like deja vu.
Look, we're very proud of you. We feel you grew up on this show. How many times have you been on this show?
This is my 3rd time.
Oh, I thought it was like 8. Okay, well...
No, I'm not that old yet.
You've done very well. No, you're only 25, and you're the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. Very impressive.
It's impressive, yeah, it is.
What does that job entail?
So that job really helps to play a role in managing a lot of...
He's 100% anti-Second Amendment. There's a lot of people, like, I don't really like David Hogg in a lot of cases. The same with, like, AOC. But whenever she introduced a bill to cap credit card interest rates 10%, I supported it. I think that it's important to disassociate people from ideas, because if you can't do that, you run into the problem of demagoguery, and you start basically worshiping people, and I think that's a bad idea. I think that, again, like, there are people that you disagree with that have ideas that you do agree with.
The DNC focuses on, which is things like the presidential primary. It's helping to beat the campaign and waiting for the president. It's helping to manage the debate schedule and helping to support our state parties and local parties around the country. It's a volunteer role, I should add, as well. So it's entirely volunteer capacity.
So nothing.
Yeah.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Oh, God. Yeah, I thought that shit was funny. Let me see if there's any more parts of this in general, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is what I already saw before, but I did think that was kind of funny to show it up there. Why, you can't get a job?
Jesus Christ, that look like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. So one of the only constants in the human experience is this. The only thing worse than job is no job. Being unemployed puts you in this weird desperation mode. All of a sudden, you're panicking and checking job postings like it's a Twitter feed. You're digging through your closet to find a somewhat presentable outfit to wear on a Zoom call. And for weeks, you spend your time visiting prison-lit office spaces or glitchy Zoom calls and talking to someone who has your entire future in their hands. And they don't seem too visibly pleased with your existence. Every interview is like a first date, except it doesn't end with a chance of physical intimacy. It ends with the chance of you getting a job that you're eventually going to hate and you're eventually going to get fired from, and the cycle continues every year and a half. Getting a job sucks. Sucks when. So let me break down exactly.
I remember whenever I would try to look for a job, I never really put a lot of work into it because I never really wanted a job.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
I remember when I would fill out a job application, I remember this very clearly, is that I was up in my room, this was during catechism, and I filled out a job application on top of an old pizza box, and I put my availability that I couldn't go to work in the morning, and I couldn't work on my raid days.
Why the modern job market is a clown show, and also why my generation is
I got something else going on.
Because unlike LinkedIn, recruiters are not trying to get cold hard fast. I'm not just going to lie to you and say you're perfect for a job through some automated message and then put you in a database of 3,000 people to pick from whenever you need to fill a position. I hate recruiting. I used to be. They suck.
Yeah, of course that's what
Being unemployed is no fun. Well, it kind of is.
It is.
For a little bit, it's kind of fun. course, you're just on like a mini
Battlefield
vacation.
ready
You play
again.
video games. You don't have to listen to stack notifications. You're eating cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But then the days begin to blend together. Your homies aren't around to play video games with you. You're just spilling out applications in an endless loop of sadness. And you're eating cereal.
Well, imagine if you never, like, see, if you're unemployed, that's one thing. But what if you're just not employed? Because, like, being unemployed means you're trying to go for a job. But, like, if you're not employed and you're not trying to go for a job, I feel like the only real problem you've got with that is money.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but in a bad way. You have no money kind of way. But if you are currently in the unemployment pickle, fear not, because you are definitely not alone. Over 6 million people are unemployed in the U.S. right now. So thanks, insert term president at time of viewing. But the good news is there are currently 9.5 million jobs available. So,
Maximum!
I'd like to stop unemployment and just give those people those jobs. Just
Nobody
shuffle
wants
those people into those jobs, like cozy little hermit crabs. You'd think it would be that simple, but it turns out that unfilled positions, those positions all are bad. They all suck. All those jobs that are available, they all suck.
Yeah, this is like working at the Amazon fulfillment center. The only thing you get there isn't fulfillment.
I mean, I bet some of
Yeah, I
them don't
bet.
suck, but those will
Probably
soon be
sucks
filled
dick.
by, you know, children
Quite
or
awful.
cousins of the person who works there already. Those jobs don't go to people like you. According to my research, fast food, warehouse, and retail jobs are the and if you've ever worked on one of those positions, people are getting beat up. People are throwing hissy fits because there's no mail.
Well, the worst part is that like a server gets beat up at a restaurant, and then the restaurant fires the server. It's like, oh, you got beat up? Yeah, we can't have that liability. We're gonna fire you.
It's just a tough time to be serving up smiles in the good old US of A. Maybe that's why 44.5 million people quit their jobs in 2023.
Smart.
Or maybe it's just because kids today don't want to work. Thanks a lot, current president. But once you're jobless, you got to start the process of job searching, obviously. Now, at this point in the video, I want to harken back to the very first video I ever made in this format, which is the fact that college is a goddamn scam. A scam, sadly, that we are all pretty much forced to take part in. Currently, millions of jobs require you to have a college degree, even for jobs that people who are in right now don't have college degrees.
Yeah, that's and the worst thing about having a college degree is it's hard to lie about it. Like, because they can call the school and find out. Because like outside of that, like, because that's one of the things you kind of can't make up. It's too long. Yeah, exactly.
Don't turn back now!
I don't know if I explained that correctly, but it makes sense. For example, only a third of administrative assistants have bachelor degrees right now. But 75% of job postings require you to have one. So do you see the discrepancy? Do you see why things aren't correct? A college degree is pretty much a, hey, I am desperate and in a lot of debt coupon that a lot of corporations want to see so they can understand that you're valuable.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint.
Employers
Right about that.
reject qualified candidates just because they don't have a college degree. This has led to a turn of research that's called great inflation. Isn't that
I think that the problem is like there's a lot of people that don't go to college. It's like there's a lot of reasons why somebody doesn't go to college. But I think that in general, they want to have somebody that goes to college because it can imply a lot of other things, like, you know, family stability, life stability, etc. Which is like, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying I think that's why it happens. Debt, yeah, etc.
That doesn't sound like the end of modern society. It's just one way employers weed out applications, because according to LinkedIn, every job has at least 118 applications. And after that, only 20% of those applications are contacted by an interviewer. And because of those tough statistics, on average, you have to apply for 300 jobs before landing, which one is insane.
Oh my God.
All the boomer dads who tell you, did you go in there? Did you shake his hand? Did you make eye contact? Bring your application. Yeah, that might have worked back in 1987, Bob. But nowadays, you need at least 8K worth of debt strapped to your back.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely true. I know that, like, if somebody ever tried to do that to me, to, like, get a job from something I'm doing by, like, going in there, I would never give them a job because a person like that thinks that they're the main character. There are existing channels for you to go through, and if you choose to think that you are too important for those channels to go through them, then you probably have some sort of narcissism issue, and I would not want to deal with you.
Sorry, I'll be ship-shape in no time.
Yeah, it's main character, exactly. Yeah, thank you, exactly. A bad take, to be honest? No, it's not. So basically, here's how I see it. Is that if you go out and you try, like, if there is an existing system that you are part of, and then you try to go outside of that system, like, for example, Could be initiative. No, it's not. I think that when an initiative goes outside of the scope of what it's implied for, then that person just doesn't follow directions. And what I've learned is that a lot of people that do stuff like that are just really fucking annoying. They're really fucking annoying and they think they don't have to follow the rules. That's it. So yeah, if I have somebody that's like, yeah, you have bad judgment, exactly, you're overthinking. No, I'm not. I think one of the biggest problems with people, like any time in any position, is people that are not willing to follow a system and work within the system. So if somebody is not willing to be part of the system and work within the system, I strongly disagree with this take. That's fine, but like, that's the way I do things. It's kind of like, here's a good example. There's people that come into my chat and try to ask to do business with me. They're like, hey, I put in my application. When are you going to read my application? And everybody in chat says, get out of your retard, right? And so, of course, because it's extremely fucking annoying. So everybody's trying to like virtue signal about how I'm wrong about this. But no, the truth is that next time one annoying fuck comes into chat, you're going to be the first person calling him a loser. What a shit analogy? No, it's pretty much one for one. So we're in kitchen? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nobody's gonna put up. No, I would never put up with that. Absolutely not. Could the system be wrong? Here's the thing. 99 times out of 100.
You'll need a top-notch team
if you
to win
start
this one.
the conversation with a person that thinks that your system is wrong, you will have problems. There are a lot of disagreeable, annoying people on the internet, so they think that that type of behavior is virtuous. It is tedious, tiresome, and it's frustrating. No. Arrogant? It is. It's arrogant. Absolutely. I'm actually surprised how many people disagree. They disagree because they're stupid. That's the reason why.
That's how
anybody could logically see that a person who goes into a store and disrupts the store in order to get attention for their resume could potentially be a problem down the line because they do not respect existing systems.
Actually impenetrable.
If you don't understand that, you are a retard.
I'm sure I've got something in my arsenal that
just to
can
get
do
a
the
Zoom
trick.
call. But how does one get to the interview stage of the job hunt? Well, wouldn't you like to know? But I'm doing an ad. I'm doing an ad because I also have to, and this is my job. So, you know, here we go.
Looking to distract yourself from the never-ending torture that is job hunting? Well, let me introduce you to the most comprehensive vehicle combat game, War Thunder. I don't care if you're an accountant working at a Fortune 500 company or one of those unemployed who constantly gets plastic. With War Thunder, you're the war hero. War Thunder lets you play 25 planes, helicopters, and ships. All from 10 major nations ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to modern fighter jets and main battle tanks. Throw that out the next time you're chatting around the world. War Thunder has one of the most sophisticated vehicle damage models in gaming. Every vehicle is intricately modeled down to the individual components like engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew. All susceptible to damage or disabled from enemy fire, and different types of armored cars.
Yes.
Brought to life by detailed graphics and
I got fucking destroyed in this game.
Available right now for free on PlayStation and Xbox. But if you use the link in my video description, new and returning players who have played in 6 months get a massive bonus pack. This bonus pack has all kinds of goodies, like the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium accounts. So go ahead and click the link in the video description for the exclusive bonus pack and join a community of over 70 million online players in epic PvP battles today. Delve into the breathtaking war experience that is War Thunder.
Yep.
So you know how technology keeps advancing? You know how that train keeps trucking? Everybody's point that we should probably slow down a little bit? You'd think with all this godforsaken technology, things would be getting a little bit easier for the common man. Things would be getting a little bit better. Would you not think? Would you not think that would be possible?
Well, they are getting easier for the common man if it's considering the man who's hiring. Absolutely. Yeah, you have better technology and it's easier to find people. It's not even a question.
Think having things like the internet and LinkedIn would make it easier to get a job, right? Wrong. Actually, did you say right? How did you not see that obvious sarcastic pinpoint? Leave the video. I'm not kidding. You said you're an idiot. Get out of here. One of the worst parts about it is the amount of time you have to spend on the demon portal that is known as LinkedIn. If you don't know, and God do I envy anybody in that camp, LinkedIn is a place that combines job postings with social media of the world's largest corporate social serve. If you work in HR,
mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Because every post that I've ever seen from somebody in LinkedIn is like How can I say this without it being bad? Okay. Every post that I read, if you took a spectrum between being a normal person and being a terrorist, it moves me closer to that other side of the spectrum. I think that's the best way I can say it.
Management, where you just really love polo shirts and girls enthusiasm. LinkedIn is for you. You should check it out. And unfortunately, this mix of toxic positivity, corporate ethos, and police, vests is a very important part of getting a job nowadays. So let's just break down some of LinkedIn's statistics and prove to everybody that this sucks so bad. So LinkedIn is over 59 million companies having LinkedIn pages. A number that makes you think 59 million companies? That's a lot of branches off of the main template. That's like if everybody in Italy started their own company. That's a lot of
There's no way, yeah. It's just like individual businesses and like really small ones, yeah.
6 people get hired by using LinkedIn.
I think you're over-exaggerating. People share their successes and achievements on LinkedIn. Yeah, but I don't see the reason. Like, I don't know. I think it's fucking annoying. Every post that I've read on there has been schizo posts, like weird corporate posturing. It's like the posts I see on LinkedIn. It's like how like you act in a professional environment, like how fake you act. It's all for visibility, right? Yeah, exactly. Like it's like that, but you're doing it on your own time. It's super fucking fake. It's the worst.
Sounds fantastic, that sounds like a turnaround until you realize that every second 140 applications are sent in. So every minute there are 6 people getting a job, and every second there are 140 people looking for a job. That not good math. I'm not a mathematician. That doesn't look like it's working out too good. So if you're trying to get a job on LinkedIn, not only do you have to fight against every other person on the planet for every job, and you have to wait through all the terrible jobs, you also have to wait through the people who post on LinkedIn, not jobs. They're all insane.
Fucking see? He said it. Exactly. Yesterday I was walking to an interview. There was a starving dog on the road. I stopped to feed him and I missed the interview. The next day I got a call asking to come in to do the interview. I was surprised, but I went. And then the interviewer came in. He was the dog. Yes. Fucking exactly. Like, yep. This shit's crazy. Obviously this one's a joke, but some of them aren't.
All insane. Everyone who
It's
posts
bad.
like actual things on LinkedIn, they're all crazy people. For some reason, linked influencers, which is a real term, are people who just post the most bootlicking, insane shit I have ever seen in my entire life. Let's just look at some of the ones I was able to pull. Let's see what we got. We have Nicole, who is a multi-industry transformation leader with an international work.
This means that she probably has a job that will be considered non-essential. She has a non-essential job.
You can tell these people all suck because their jobs do nothing.
Yes.
The titles they give themselves. This morning at my local coffee shop, the owner said to me, "Your HR people sit around, do nothing, and earn the big bucks." No one said that to you.
Yeah.
Who the would say that to you? Without thinking, I've learned it out. We carry the emotional labor of our organization.
See, I told you.
What value would you put on that? Silence. Winky. Oh my God. Shut the up. What would you have said? Hashtag human resources, hashtag HR community. No one cares about HR people. You guys suck. No one has ever left an HR meeting and thought, man, those guys should be getting paid more for that bullshit work.
The funny thing about HR is that everybody says that HR is used by woke people to suppress normal people, but then woke people hate HR because they say that HR is being used by normal people to suppress woke people. Basically, everybody hates it. It's crazy.
Now, who am I gonna
I just don't get why
bash
you
for
make
this
up a story
match?
like that. Actually, I do. Getting clicks is addictive.
And by the way, both of them are true. Both of them are right, because both of them are just trying to protect the company. They're not trying to protect you.
I made my whole career, but also, no one's believing that shit. And if they do, they're stupid. Jay, whose job title is I help law firms optimize their PR and marketing and whatever.
Okay.
It's all bullshit. Abraham Lincoln was a thought leader and content creator.
No.
What? And if he was alive today, I bet he'd be after.
He's a content. He made some content, all right, yeah.
Actively sharing his ideas on social media, not only as means of pursuing political office, but also to build his legal practice. Sure, I guess. Why are you picking on Abraham Lincoln like that?
Why would you say this?
You're just spouting nonsense, dude. You just
Why would you?
Gandhi would have been a social media person. Why'd you pick
Pick your
Abraham Lincoln?
hero.
Then we have Peter, who is a
villain.
proven
I'm not
SEO
judging.
specialist, boosting revenue for online. See, like none of these titles can fit in the title because you're blabbering. What happened to boss? You know? What happened to the boss of something? Why do you have to have this whole title? I have a secret. Do you, Pete? Most people are not even aware that this is a real thing.
Oh, I think most of these people, one thing that you can tell with a lot of these jobs is that all the people in these job positions have positions that are based off of non-quantitative results.
Like SEO specialist boosting, it's very hard to, as somebody who understands SEO, it is very hard to distinguish between natural growth and SEO induced growth.
30 seconds before you attack.
It's PR.
Get ready.
Oh, PR is gonna, like, what is this, right? And it's like all the people that have all these like high values and everything, these are people that are generally not actually creating what the business is there
This is one group of
to
fascists
create.
I'd be happy to never see again.
What's SEO? Search engine optimization.
But not in the way I think you mean.
In 2015, I've struggled with peeing
battle
in a
starts
public
in
restroom.
5,
What?
4,
What, dude?
3,
I've missed weddings, held my
2,
pee up to 10
1.
hours, social events, and going out in
All you
general
need to
because I
do
was
is
too
capture
afraid
the
I was
mission
going to
area.
or not.
Got it?
I've been doing exposure therapy, which is immensely helpful.
Why would you say this?
Are you just peeing in front of somebody? Are you paying someone to pee in front of them? I'm trying to get at that you need to expose yourself to the fears
No,
and
it's
go
not.
outside your comfort zone for success. Do not expose yourself. And the way he is exposing himself, that's against the law. And this man is a influencer.
This is the kind of guy that he says something like this at a company meeting or like a company party, and then the next day HR is like, yeah, Phil, we need to talk real quick. So, okay, look, man, why are you talking about peeing on, like, in public? Like, why do you have to, do we really have to talk about this at the job? Like, is this, it's not a problem, but it's getting really close to one, you know? So it wasn't funny. Yeah, like, why don't you just not do this?
And he's saying this stuff, people are eating it up. So good luck looking for a job while you're looking at that stuff. Because how does anyone pay attention? How does anyone get any work done when they're on LinkedIn? Because people are just saying
This dude makes your terrorism scale an even better point. Do you guys see what I'm saying about the terrorism scale? Do you see what my point is here? See, everybody thought I was crazy, but you read these tweets and you think to yourself,
Those beacons don't grow on trees, you know.
insane things all the time. So we're looking for a job on LinkedIn. And I'm not just talking about things over here. I'm talking about the bullshit job listings. And my God, there are bullshit job listings. I mean, first of all, we got this game. That is a huge problem on LinkedIn. In 2021, 32 million fake accounts were identified on LinkedIn. I don't understand if that fact came out of like Twitter.
well, that's
like,
everywhere, right? I mean, every account, every website has fake accounts.
Armor packs here.
You know, troll bots are just trying to destabilize the human experience. But LinkedIn bots are way more malicious. Fake LinkedIn accounts are trying to get your personal info and money as fast as possible.
Natural.
During the pandemic, when a lot of people my age lost their jobs, a lot of my friends and
That's smart. If I was a scammer, I would go on LinkedIn too, because anytime that you can take advantage of somebody who's desperate,
You're welcome.
it's so easy to do, right? Because like they want it to be true, so they will believe it because they want it to be true. Yeah, of course. It's smart for the scammers to do this. Exactly.
Social security number and your birth date.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Something, and I'm it's really hard to identify when I go to your company or just including turkeys trying to take out a boatload of my name. So remember when I said you had to put up 200 resumes to get a job? Well, good luck not letting one of those be a scam. That's it's a big net gap. Well, let's say you're dealing with a for sure real company that has a real job posting. Well, good luck figuring out how to get that job because the things they are asking people to do nowadays are insane. When I wrote this script, I typed in every position on LinkedIn and I pulled up the first one. And this is
This is real firepower.
Oh my gosh.
Assemble!
specialist, successful thing I could say besides internet crown that fit my, $15 to $20 an hour. Contract work, so they're doing that so they don't have to pay you insurance.
That's right.
So that's good. That's like 90% of the reason why you get it. So 15 to 20 an hour, depending on how much they like you. And let me remind you, this is entry level position. Entry level. And minister in-house creative duties for the digital marketing team, supporting over 40 frontline workers who are in charge of 4 teams. Bring animated assets for social media banners, online graphics, advertising assets, Spotify canvases, video items, kinetic clear. Holy shit. Edit and deliver both short form and medium form videos to social media and streaming platforms. Editing various behind the scenes content. Create video compilations and artist highlight reels for internal and external presentations. Manage quality control and ingestion of video content from external creators.
Oh my god. For $15 an hour.
What they need from you before they even start talking.
What?
Because that's strong attention to detail or whatever. That's sort of shit that camera everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Knowledge of the Adobe Creative Cloud. So that's like 3 years of knowledge you have to have going into this. Utilize Outlook Monday, Sony CI, and proprietary asset systems to manage project scheduling and archival. So
Oh
if
my
you know
God.
everything about Adobe, that's not good enough. We need you to know all this shit too. Ability to work with both Mac and PC.
Yeah, I've never used Mac.
Consistent willingness to
This
robust
is
sound
real firepower!
That means that they're gonna make you yeah, you're gonna have to. There's gonna be things they need you to do after you're done working. Yeah.
Mind you, this is only $20 an hour. Alexa, how much is $20 an hour for you?
Well, no, that's 20 was the max. $41,000.
That is so little. $41,000 to all this? That's fucking crazy. I mean, it's not little if you live in like Topeka, but if you live in Nashville, that's probably not a living wage. Ability to interact comfortably and effectively with employees,
When the
company,
chips
and all
are down,
including
you want
executive
your heroes a
management,
little
positive
rogue
attitude,
as you
team
scrub.
player, and prefers 1 to 3 years of graphic design experience in music and entertainment business. Who has that? Who has that? For an
Oh my fucking god. This is insane.
It's just crazy. Like, what are you supposed to
Is
do?
it that
This is
bad?
This is just one. There's millions of people asking this much shit.
Wait, there's more.
But let's say you put your head in the sand and ignore all those red flags I just told you. Well, congratulations, you got your first interview. But sadly, once again, interviews are not what your dad thinks they are anymore. Interviews are no longer about how firm your handshake is or how presentable you are during the interview. Well, it is 20% that. You can't just like puke on your clip-on tie and then just pretend like nothing happened. The other 80% is jumping through thousands of pointless hoops to let your future employer know that you have zero self-respect and are easily manipulated. I mean, speaking from experience and my friend's experience, nowadays, every time you do an interview, you have to do homework. They give you homework like you're a 3rd grader. The industry calls these job interview assignments, but I like to call them...
Have you guys ever had this? I've never heard of this. I had to do this one time for a job interview, and I read through and researched everything, and then I went to the interview, and they didn't ask me a single question that was urgent. They asked me a bunch of questions from like another... I asked them, I was like halfway through, because I got every single one wrong. And I was like, are you sure that you sent me the right one? Because none of this was on there.
Some revenge. This is a
Like,
nice
what is this? Did you get the job? I didn't. I did not get the job. But it was the day that Miss Pandaria came out that I had this interview. So I was actually happy that I didn't get the job because that way I could just play the expansion the whole time. Well, I remember this very clearly. It was with the web hosting company.
Huge fucking waste of time. Personality test,
Yep.
problem solving, It's gotten to the point where the website that helps you get a job has an entire article dedicated to AIA. Just like the do's and don'ts of how to actually do it, you know, how to look like a real go-getter when you're doing these things. And what's the return of investment? The ROI.
Walmart has a 100-question assignment that you have to do before you even get the job. Were you really taking that job interview seriously? Yeah, no, I would take it seriously for sure. Walmart, is that true? Is question number 63. Are unions good or bad?
Disappear!
There is a right answer to this.
This is real firepower! You're ready for action! Team play!
They know, like, hey, we're giving you too much. They know to walk away because you can't spend all your time on one job. While the hiring manager wants to find the right person for the position, it's important to project is okay. Most of them require a few hours to complete. Review what the assignment involves and consider how useful it is in comparison to the job you're applying for. They're saying that, yeah, a lot of these aren't worth doing because they're so time-consuming that it's just not worth applying for in the first place. Is that not crazy? I mean, first of all, a few hours...
So, is this only for something? Because if it's at Walmart, like, what the fuck do you need to know to like, no, I don't even believe this. Walmart, 100 question.
Tremble before fast!
I keep failing the Walmart assessment test. Walmart assessment test 2024. How to pass the assessment test. 3 years ago. Wait, if this was 2024, then why did it get up? This guy just changed the title of the video.
Feeling fantastic.
No way.
Hi, I'm Shlomi. Job has friends. Competitive. Excellent. Select.
You're serving a customer at the store when you're probably customers on the phone running the speaker. What is the most effective responses to this situation? So shouldn't they just tell you this?
This is real firepower!
You have in mind the character you'd like to pick up.
Man, I gotta make another beacon?
No wonder kids like Tom. Holy shit! Can you imagine having to deal with this shit? Yeah, I know, it makes sense.
Keep going.
It's too much. A few hours of work on the job, you know you're not going to get a good job is so insulting that someone who knows that you are applying to 100 different companies says that you're going to do 3 hours worth of work for me to work on my person. You need to show me how fucking live dick you are.
Oh my god.
If you go to Reddit, there are thousands of stories of coding projects, and then the company just ghosts them and
Now that's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's what is going on? Like, what are we supposed to do anymore? Are we just supposed to all work on gadgets? This is a big step back to feudalism. Working all the way back to
No. And this, by the way, guys, this is what we're going back to. You see this right here? We're going back to this triangle. It's happening as I speak. At this very moment.
When the chips are down, you
happens
want
a lot. I
heroes
got
a little
interviewed for a
roguish
company
and
who
scruffy,
literally wanted a
like
whole
me.
new feature for their platform. Wow. That's crazy.
Pay up. Shit. God damn.
30
So there you have it.
seconds before you
Jobs on
attack.
LinkedIn more
Get
specifically
ready.
are a sludge to get through. But quick fun
Jesus.
fact, if we all just got together and stopped
Everyone
working the
is
whole
looking.
48 hours in a
Calling a
general
rat
strike,
cone.
would things would get better
Be
for everyone?
wary.
If we all just stopped working, everything would get better for everybody. So I don't know. Maybe make a Facebook page. New videos every Saturday and Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Stay golden, Pony Boy. Fuck the Cell Network.
This
That's the worst
is
show I ever worked in my
insane.
life. And shout out again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to
battle
play
starts
on
in
PC, PlayStation, or Xbox by clicking the link in the
I
video
don't even know what to
description.
say.
New and returning players who haven't
One.
played in 6 months will also receive an
All
exclusive
you need to
bonus
do
pack
is
for all
capture the
platforms,
mission
and
area.
full preview
Got
games and
it?
all kinds of other goodies. That's available for a limited time only. Just
What
check it
dare
out.
Doom character.
That was
I
pretty
don't think
fast.
I'm
Who's
gonna
good
like
with
him
that?
very much.
So
Content from a
this is just astonishing to me. Like, I don't even know what to say. I had no idea it was this bad. If only we knew how bad things really were. Yeah, this is amazing. Spotify rap. This is just, it's created 1,000 character question in Japanese for university job seeing 36,000. What the fuck? 1,000 characters.
Capture the mission
Oh
area.
my god. You should do a job application. Well, here's the thing.
Rest easy, buddy.
Like, I never
Mutants
wanted to have a
always
job,
rise
so like
again.
there was never a job that I actually really wanted. Actually, that's not true. I wanted to work at the IRS. I like working there, but other than that, I never filled out a job application, so I wanted to get a call back for it. The only time I did it was for money, and it's like, okay, I have to get a job. I have to do this. It's insane, man. Yeah, I mean, the way, like, I always tried to make money is I just tried to, like, I never looked at a job. The way that I always tried to make money is I looked at it from the perspective of, like, how can I get somebody to give me money? I never really thought about, like, how to get a job. I just thought about how can I get someone to give me their money? Or how can I take their money away from them and not get in trouble? One way or another, how do I put their money in my pocket? And that was it.
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point. Here to help.
On paper, the job market now is soft. Unemployment hit a 54-year low at 3.4% back in January. And U.S. employers added 2.7 million people to the in 2023 alone. The January job report also showed the 2024 labor market is off to a solid start.
The hard data, it seems to suggest that the labor market has been fairly strong and in fact surprisingly resilient, especially after 2023 where we had headlines about layoffs and forecasts of recession. But when you look at the soft data, Americans tend to be a little bit less optimistic about how the economy is doing and about the job market.
I think a lot of people are underemployed. That's the reason. Like, you have people that have jobs, but they're not happy with the job they have.
Just talk about how much
We'll have to keep fighting until we have winners.
how come no one can find a job.
Recently, unemployed full-time workers applied to an average of 30 jobs.
Wow.
Only to receive an average of 4 callbacks or responses.
If you look at the job vacancies, they're down a little bit, but not down enormously. But if you ask, you know, how hard are you working to fill them? The answer seems to be not very right now.
So why does it feel
Maybe because the companies are expecting there will be like a technology improvement. And so like why bring somebody on if technology is moving so fast? Why not just wait 6 months until you can just hire a robot, buy a robot that does it?
the U.S. labor market as strong as it seems?
Maximum pulse!
Keep going.
I was frustrated just with how my job search process has been going. I haven't quantified how many jobs I've applied to. It would be a little depressing.
By the eye of Agamotto!
55% of unemployed adults.
I see why. Okay, so here's a component that I don't know if they're going to cover in this video. So there's a lot of different types of unemployment. There's like frictional unemployment, and then there's also people who are no longer looking for a job unemployment. And then there's people that have been fired unemployment. So people that are no longer looking for a job are in a lot of cases actually not counted in the unemployment category. So if 55% of people are saying this, and seasonal jobs too. So I don't know if they're going to cover this or not, but you can look at 33%, but if you're not covering those other people, then that's not going to be it. Stupid, but indeed the truth? No, it is. Like, you can look it up and see for yourself. Now, there's different ways of reporting unemployment. There are ways that take that into consideration and ways that don't take that into consideration. I don't know if the way that they reported on this video does do that or not. I am assuming that it doesn't.
Looking for a job can be a full-time job. There's a lot that goes into it. Filling out applications online can be tedious and can be time-consuming and can be really stressful.
Every day just feels like Groundhog Day. You're waking up doing the same thing.
When I looked at the data, if you just applied to a job through a job board, the odds of you getting hired were about 3%.
So you got to apply to a lot of different jobs in order to have a chance to get them, and you're going to get lots and lots of just no responses.
Yeah, sure.
And it's exhausting if you do that.
A 2023 study from Glassdoor revealed that mentions of applicants being ghosted by their prospective employers.
I don't agree with this. This is a bad term and this is a bad graph. Ghosting is a social word. Sorry, it's like a buzzword now, or a slang word. Slang word. So obviously people using the word ghosting was less popular in 2016 because the term wasn't widely acknowledged by the public. So if you're putting it in, this is such, why would you put this? This is so bad.
Substantially since before the COVID-19 pandemic.
We often hear from job seekers that they send out tons and tons of applications and they don't even hear back, and that can be very emotionally and mentally taxing.
It's unprofessional as well. It's like, especially if you're gonna have to take the time to do an interview with them.
Who are you calling a raccoon?
I think it's because of technology. It's easy to put up a job, and so many people can see that job. So when you get such an overwhelming response, it's often very difficult to get back to every single solitary candidate. Certainly during the Great Resignation, when the market was at a fever pitch, companies were being ghosted by candidates, which is something that hadn't happened as much in the past. So we've seen it happen on both sides of the fence, and I think a lot of it is caused by just sheer volume.
The time it takes for a company to hire an employee also hit an all-time high, at an average of 44 days during the first quarter of 2023, with some industries like the energy and defense sector taking more than 67 days for hire.
The application process has been getting longer and longer, with going through multiple rounds and doing assessments. My worst experience.
I haven't looked for a job in over 10 years. How true is this? It's very true? Okay.
So far,
you'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Where I had a phone screen with them, and I also had a Zoom interview with one of the team members. After that, I had a case study where I was given very vague instructions. They got back to me and said that the team didn't feel like there was enough, so they gave me another attempt. In the end, I just ended up just going back to the recruiter and saying, like, I'm sorry, I don't think this is the best fit. Because even if I did move forward and they were okay with my revision, there still would have been 3 more interviews.
A lot of employers.
Jesus Christ, that's insane. 3 more interviews. Oh my God. You can't make me believe there's a shortage of jobs in this country whenever there's 23 cash registers at Walmart and only 3 cashiers. What do you mean by that? Because I think that's actually evidence that there is a shortage, because they don't need to hire 24 of them, because now they just have self-checkout. It's a company thing. Walmart decides to not open the registers or hire more people. Yeah, exactly. I wish I could have experienced the time when you could fucking walk into their building and ask if you can work there, and they go, nah, we're full, or yeah, sure, bro. What, like Peaky Blinders or something like that? You just walk into the warehouse and say, hey, you guys hiring? And then that's it? Oh, fuck. I don't know, right? I mean, I'm sure there were problems then, too.
That doing more interviews is a good thing, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Most job interviews are not doing anything important. They don't know that the questions they're asking are going to reveal whether you're a candidate or not. They don't know when they ask the question what their answer is, and this is a development that's been going on for a while.
I've always thought that job interviews were also like, unless you're getting a job at NASA, they're like a vibe check. It's like if this person is like obnoxious or weird, you just don't hire them. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, like they got the questions right, but they're fucking annoying, and so I don't want to have this person. I don't want this person in the building again. Like that, yeah, a sanity check. I mean, fuck. That's my opinion. Do they smell bad? What do they look like? It's big red. Yeah.
There are generally 2 terms economists use to describe the state of tight and
Usually when economists talk about the tight labor market, they mean essentially. And mostly what that means is it is difficult for employers to find workers. And so in that context, employers tend to be more hesitant to lay off workers. They tend to try to be more aggressive about how they hire, whether that means offering bonuses or offering job training. By contrast, a loose labor market or cold labor market is one
I'd expect it was the opposite.
layoffs and
Based off the
hiring is difficult to find jobs.
Like loose, you just let as many people in as possible, right? That's usually what it means.
This is real firepower!
And then all again as the businesses started moving. So you had so many job openings happening all at the same time.
Job openings surged to historic highs, while the country continued to struggle from a devastating labor shortage. With so many plentiful job prospects, even working Americans quit their jobs at a rapid pace for new jobs, in a trend that came to be known as the Great Resignation.
Smart.
The job market is beginning to show signs of healing.
There's less of a frenzy on the part of employers. If you're somebody who wants a job, you would like a frenzy on the part of the employers.
Of course.
You would like to have lots of
options.
people trying to hire you.
And then they're going to have better thing about the job market right now is that it is strong, but the hiring rate is low, and similarly, the layoff rate is actually very low.
The layoff and discharge rate in the U.S. has been hovering near historic lows.
Like if I was running a company and it was like a tech company, I would be extremely hesitant to hire hardly anybody because of just how fast technology is moving right now. Because like I feel like every 2 years they have to completely readjust what's happening with like AI and automation right now. It's crazy. Like it's really fast. And so it would make sense that they're just kind of waiting and seeing. Starforge? I mean, no. I mean, Starforge is like it's manufacturing primarily, right? Like you're putting things physically in a PC. You can't really automate that as easily as you can automate like a code or something.
Thanks.
So yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Or like you can have like, self checkout.
This is
yeah, I mean that's it's not necessarily like that. For now, of course, there's always a for now, right? But like I'm saying right now.
Despite the barrage of layoffs reported specifically within the more visible tech industry sectors.
Yeah, what might be going on here is employers workers out because of their recent experience with vendor. But on the flip side, that also means that a lot of workers are sitting tight, they're not quitting, they're not being laid off, and so there aren't as many of those opportunities to normally expect nutrition for folks who are trying to break into those roles.
Research from LinkedIn found that job seekers' search intensity in the U.S. grew by 27% compared to the year before. In 2023,
Well, that seems pretty easy to solve.
This is real firepower!
Both employers and employees being a little bit more selective.
It was search intensity. I would assume that the frequency of the searches and how in depth they go. Like I don't know. I mean, there's probably a different. Like you can measure that in like 5 different ways that makes sense.
A little bit more of a measured approach right now, being a little bit more selective in their choices, and that's why we see a little bit of pull in the market.
Yeah.
This is real firepower!
It is important that you know, if you're hunting for jobs right now, you can't find them. There's like a lot of jobs. Compared to
it's going to be for
sales experience, it's a great job market.
I think that sentiment is outcomes mindset. So in 2021, there were labor shortages, companies were hiring very aggressively, and so in 2024,
this is real
I think
firepower!
he's talking to like a lot of people's parents probably grew up in like the 70s, and I know like in the 70s like there was like a lot of really bad economic problems then too, and like the late 70s and shit. So yeah, Jimmy Carter basically. So I do think that what he's saying does track. I don't think he's out of pocket for saying that. Okay, so well what he's saying is that their situation is also very bad as well.
by recent comparison, it doesn't feel quite as strong.
Cooling down the labor market is also what the Federal Reserve did with its
The
series
current
of
score
interest
is
hikes.
3.
If you are the Federal
2,
Reserve and you want to
0.
slow the economy
Time
down,
to switch
maybe
things
if you
up,
want to slow
including
the
which
markets
side
down
you're on.
yet, the biggest market is the labor market. You know, if you look at
Who
what
are you calling a
employers
raccoon,
do,
huh?
where their
The right
budget is,
heroes
it's
can
mainly
make
going
all
to
the
labor.
difference.
So you can't easily cool the economy down unless you cool the labor market down.
Experts also noted that the health of the labor market will largely rely on where the economy is headed next.
If the economy does slow down more significantly in 2024, if we see a recession in 2024, the labor market can be somewhat resilient, but it can't fully buck the broader economic trends. And so that's definitely something we want to watch out for in 2024. It's not a guarantee that the job market is going to remain as strong. Broadly speaking, we might have some optimism about the economy. That doesn't necessarily mean that the job search is an easy process.
I guess the big thing I would say is it's not
This
you.
is a nice spot.
You know, it's not you. It's
None of
happening
your business.
to thousands of other hundreds of thousands of people at the same time.
Yeah.
And it
I'm
has
never
to do
coming
with
anywhere near
what's
your
going on in
flock
the bigger
of
economy. It
You
has
can
to do with
count on that.
uncertainty. And it also has to do with a lot of quirkiness inside employers about how they
Battle
handle
starts in
hiring
5,
these days.
4,
Definitely
3,
difficult out
2,
there, but
1.
you know, I just encourage you not to give up.
Just what we need.
Still keep diving into your network and stay tight with family and friends.
We need to stop that vehicle in
I
its
mean,
tracks.
she tried to get it, didn't she? Say she applied to like hundreds of jobs. She didn't get a job. I wouldn't take advice from her.
The emotional support you know, that you might be lacking at the moment, and to give you that confidence that you can do it.
I think that obviously a lot of people aren't looking for a job at all, and so they're not being counted in a lot of unemployment figures. And overall, it makes sense that less people are going to have jobs, because really the amount of jobs that there are for people that don't have like a skilled degree, they're going to be going down because those applications are going to be automated. They already have been in a lot of cases. Like that's why, like, how many of you guys have gone through a customer support like portal and talked to an AI? I've had to do that before. And then like if there is a problem,
This is
then
real
you get referred to a
firepower.
person. Because like they're not really, so this is what's gonna happen. Is they're going to use these tools to kind of like filter in or filter out all of the super easy solution things, right? Like I lost my password. Can you give me a new password? Okay, this is a simple thing that a computer can do, right? Here, I'll give you actually a really great example that we all know and it works very well. And also, like, we're talking about something like AI. Really, it doesn't matter about AI or not AI. It's really just having technology that's available that replaces the jobs of people that are working there. So, like, here's an example. In World of Warcraft, do you remember whenever you used to have to ticket at the end to get your item restored? Well, now you don't have to do that anymore because you can just go on the website and there's a list of all the items and you can restore them yourself. So that's a job that GMs had to do, and now they don't do that job anymore.
This is a nice spot.
They removed the option. I don't know if they did or not because there are no GMs. It's automation. Yeah, it's just simply automation. And so automation is going to get better, and that's just what's going to happen. And it will remove a lot of people's jobs from the economy. It absolutely will. Depends on the field. Healthcare is looking bleak right now, but you're still generally secure. Essential jobs are always secure. Fast food and customer service, in fact, that's dangerous. Well, the problem with this, and this is kind of like what I'm saying, is that, like, you bring up a really good point, is that fast food and customer service, these are jobs that people that are, like, this is my opinion, and this might get me in a little bit of trouble, but this is my opinion. I think that people have a certain level of talent points, right, or skill points. I don't think everybody starts with the same level of talent points. And I think that you can work hard and get a few extra ones, but there's also a certain degree of RNG, of spawn RNG to it. So the reality is that not everybody can be an engineer because not everybody can think like an engineer. not everybody can think on that level. Not everybody can go and be a doctor and memorize everything and understand all of these different diseases and problems and be able to work with it, which is not going to happen. And so the problem with like removing jobs like fast food and customer service is that there is a tremendous amount of people that exist on like that lower order of like just capacity. And it's like, what are those people going to do? Because those are the jobs that are getting replaced very quickly, because these are just simple, like, I need a person to hit a button. Eventually, they will find a robot that will hit that button instead. And so what do you do with all of those people? Because all of those people, like, it's not realistic to expect all of them to go and just, oh, okay, we'll just go get a degree in law and be trying to get it. And also, I think that you guys might not understand, like, being an electrician, being a plumber, like, I've seen the way that electricians and plumbers solve problems. They're not stupid. Like, this isn't like, it is not a job that you sit at an office and you're, like, looking over, like, actuarial tables for. But these guys are not stupid. And I don't think that you can take somebody who is struggling at a call center or something like that, and they can't figure out that. You can't put them in a job of a fucking certified electrician and expect things to go well.
This is a nice spot.
I really just don't think so. You know, they're smarter than college-educated professors I've interacted with. Well, I'll tell you this, right? I've got a friend, Cody, one of his, I think it's one of his roommates, is a lineman.
I'll patch you up.
Dude is making $98 an hour, sitting on his ass on call.
Much better.
Doing nothing. Ain't doing shit. But he did have a conversation with me about how some dude got killed on the job. It's like, you know, this is a conversation point. And so you gotta watch out. But there it is. People thinking blue collar will survive don't understand who's paying for the plumber and electrician. What if they can't pay because their jobs went to AI? Well, I mean, I think that's right about that. But I think that's really what the issue is that we are always going to have like a mass market of unskilled laborers, right? Because there's just people that are stupid. And they're not going to get it. Like, you can explain it to them. Like, how many times you guys have, like, played WoW, and there's a person that you raided with, and you raided with them for 3 years, and they've been garbage every year.
It seems we have company.
And you can explain it to them, and they don't get it. And, like, the finally when you kill the boss, it's whenever they didn't get the mechanic.
This is real firepower!
It's like you do Mythic Star Auger, they didn't get Grand Conjunction at all during the fight, the boss died. And like, you know, this is like 50, 100 attempts in, it's like, oh my god, you still can't figure this out. How can you deal with this? Or they're not there. Yeah, they put in the work to have early, to have those positions, they're smart and they understand they're valuable, much more so than some 8-year degrees. I think that there's a lot of people that are engineers that have 8-year degrees that are incredibly smart, really intelligent, doctors, people that work in finance. But I don't, obviously I'm not a believer of the, you know, like if you work with your hands, you're stupid, right? I mean, this is, I mean, come on, like these who's telling you this? A teacher in high school that makes less than like what some of these guys make in a month, in a year, and they're the ones calling them stupid. Like they're saying, oh, you don't want to be a garbage man. Well, why not? The garbage men make more than you do. What is this? So yeah, no, I definitely agree with you with that. I think it's a stupid mindset to have. But definitely, I think the big problem is that you're going to have a lot of people that are in these low-skilled jobs, and what the hell are they going to do whenever their low-skilled job gets turned into a machine? Like a lot of the people that are working at what do you call it? They're working at McDonald's. Like these are people. A lot of times, like at least where I'm at, they barely speak English. Like where are you going to put them besides that? Like, after they stop working at McDonald's, where are they going to work besides McDonald's? They're going to go to Wendy's or get Wendy's out there, too. You think McDonald's isn't that's my whole point, right? Is that McDonald's is a job for people that have, like, low skill, like, low communication skills to work at and to do. But if McDonald's doesn't exist, where do they go instead?
Oh, I'm not going to make it easy.
And I think it's a huge problem.
These guys are about to shoot at us.
The current score is 3, 2,
Except for
while also ensuring
Tango
our brand,
Studio,
you know,
'cause,
everything that we do
you know.
is there through this moment of transition.
Related to some of the trends you're identifying.
I'm not really sure what that.
The right
Well, I don't know
heroes
what
could
she
make
just
all
said,
the
but
difference.
yeah, I'm not sure, but okay.
You know, earlier this week, Xbox announced the shuttering of 4 game studios. I know you're not the studio's chief, but how should gamers understand that move in terms of Microsoft's commitment to developing innovative exclusive
Here, I'll give the
games?
real answer. Gamers shouldn't give a fuck about it because we're just gonna make other games. It's not your job to care about the studios. Just buy the games if they're good. Don't buy them if they're bad. It's that simple. No gamer really gives a shit about this.
I got a plan.
That's the real answer.
Relay
You can't say that
It ain't
on TV, but that's the answer.
Yeah, you know, it's
Yeah.
it's always
They'll be coming in 30
extraordinarily
seconds. Stay
hard
strong.
to make decisions like that. You know, I'll go back to what I was saying about the industry, and when we looked at those fundamental trends, we feel a deep responsibility to ensure that the games we make, the devices we build, the services that we offer are there
The battle starts in 5,
through moments
4,
even when the industry
3,
isn't growing and when you're
2,
through a time of
1.
transition. And the
Only
news
60 seconds
we
left.
announced.
Yeah, she's saying they didn't make enough money. I think that's what she's saying. That's basically it. She's saying, like, even whenever she's like, well, we want them to be successful even whenever the industry isn't growing, and the implication is that they were not. That's what I think she's saying.
Earlier this week was an outcome of that.
I'll patch you up.
In our commitment to make sure that the business is healthy for the long term.
Exactly. Yeah, they were losing. There it is. We're losing money in the studio. It's that simple.
But with that said, our commitment to having our own studios and working with partners to have games large and small. You know, we're a platform where you can play GTA, you can also play Power World,
I'll get you next
where you can
time.
play Call of Duty.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. Us against the world.
And frankly, our commitment to Bethesda, the role that it plays is in part Xbox.
Yeah, big mistake on that one, huh? Yeah, bad call. Because of like Starfield, you know? Because it was bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fantastic. I don't know
This is real firepower!
It's been great to see people fall in love with that universe. Also, what it's done for
This is real firepower!
I mean, I'm sorry, but like the Fallout show being good, probably, I mean, I'm sure Xbox helped make it better, but Xbox was not the causal factor in the Fallout show being good.
Hurry up! Besides that, there's another great thing here.
Let's be honest.
Later this year, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I was a big indie fan growing up. Looks like you were too. So you should check that out. But really right now for us and our teams, our focus is on the people impacted and doing everything what we can do to help them through this hard transition.
The reality is that there's no answer that she could realistically give that would be a good answer. Like, that's really the truth, is that she's in a very bad position where it's like, she can't say, well, they weren't making any fucking money, so we got rid of them. We axed them. They're not making the games we think they should make, so we got rid of them. They're not making the new, what was the game that they were, like, they said that people were disappointed that the Hi-Fi Rush people weren't making. The Evil Within.
By the eye of Agamotto!
They didn't do that. They didn't bring home the bacon, and guess what happens? I disagree. She could have given a better answer. She could have touched more emotion more. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't think she should have touched any more emotion, because the problem is that if she had used more emotion, then people would have just said that they were crocodile tears, or it's just an executive that's trying to make you feel sorry for them. That wouldn't have been any better. She did exactly what she did. This is the best possible outcome for the situation that she was in. And it, I'm sorry, it was garbage. It was. But it's like, listen, if you've got to make a cake and your ingredients are nails, cat shit, and paint, well, you're probably not going to make a good cake, are you? It doesn't matter how good of a baker you are. It doesn't matter. And that's what happened here.
Us against the world!
I mean, this is a W question. I mean, I'll tell you that. Yeah. What a great interviewer.
3, 2.
I mean, I love seeing questions that are really, you know, kind of tough. You know, they are getting in there. Yeah, exactly.
You know, one of the things I really
You'll need a top-notch
love
team
about
to
the
win
games
this one.
industry is it's a creative art form, and it means that the situation and what success is for each game and studio is also really unique. Like, there's no one-size-fits-all.
So what she's saying is that their version of success publicly was not Microsoft's version of success. She's saying that it might have looked like it was successful, but behind the scenes and like on the balance sheet, it wasn't successful. I think that's what she's saying. Like, obviously, you know, I could be wrong. Hey, I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me. I feel like this is actually a pretty good answer. Like, in terms of it being revealing.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
To it for us.
Exactly. Yeah. See, that's what she's saying.
So
Perhaps I should have stayed in my cocoon.
Each studio, each game team, and we look at a full variety of factors in their faces and making decisions and trade-offs.
Yeah, that's the factor they're looking at right there.
Like that. But it all comes back
The battle
to
starts in 5,
our long-term
4,
commitment to
3,
the games we
2,
create, the devices
1.
we build, the services, and ensuring that they're setting
I have found more
ourselves up
lost
to
souls.
Talking further about one of the key focus areas.
Yeah, I think that's where what happened, is that the studios just didn't make enough money. And I'm actually surprised that we got so much of a direct answer. It's odd because I saw a discourse about this online. I didn't watch it, obviously, but I saw a discourse about it, and people were saying that she gave non-answers. I feel like this is the closest thing to an answer that we could have got. Like, realistically, from like a corporate perspective, this is the most direct answer that we could have possibly received. She's giving non-answers? No, she's not. She's saying that they were successful, but not based off of our metrics. The metrics fucked up. I don't know if they did or not. None of us know that. Then stop buying studios. I think this is probably what happened.
Which hero do you think you want to be today?
This is my guess. I don't know. I'm guessing. I bet they released Hi-Fi Rush, and they didn't make enough money to sustain themselves for the development of the next game. And the expectation, like, Microsoft was like, all right, if you want to do this, we're going to let you do this. And they did it, and it didn't succeed at the level they needed it to keep the studio sustainable until the next game never released. And so Microsoft cut them off. That's what I think happened, because that's what makes the most sense to me. Like, Game Pass, well, it's all Game Pass. It's not all about Game Pass. So you need to think about this, like, so I guarantee you Microsoft has analytics. Microsoft probably has 50 different analytics that that are being used on Game Pass to judge whether somebody is doing well or whether a user is, buying Game Pass or using Game Pass to play a certain game. Only 50. Yeah, 50 for individual users, right? Individual user, like, data points. So it's probably 50, maybe 100, maybe even more, right? I'm not sure. So, like, the amount of people that are playing Hi-Fi Rush on Game Pass, they know what that number is. They know what that number is at any given time. They know what that number was. They know what that number was projected to be. They know where that number is going to be. They know they have a decent understanding of how many conversions and purchases of Game Pass was created by that number. Here, let me go ahead and show you something. For example, so this is just an example. I want to just go ahead, pre-order. Okay, we look at this here, And this should show. Okay, so whenever you click this button, Ubisoft has a tracker whenever you go on their website, and they are tracking your IP address of you deciding to sign up for Ubisoft Plus based off of this website address. And so every single online retailer does this. And they do it, like, I think I showed a picture of this recently. I guess it must have been deleted, but this is extremely common. So what they're doing is they're tracking basically like a flowchart of actions. And so the amount of actions that this game has that result in a purchase of Ubisoft Plus are then amortized over the lifetime value of a Ubisoft Plus customer, and then factored into the value that that game is providing for the company. And why do I think this? Because would you do this? Hey, if you were running this company, would you do that? I would do that. Of course. You would need to do this. It's common sense. So of course they're fucking doing this. It's not even a question. Yeah, of course. So whenever they say, because you say it's on Game Pass, you don't understand what that means. They have the data for this.
I'll patch you up.
That's all I'm saying.
You're halfway
Okay?
there. Keep
All I'm
going.
saying.
I was in trouble. Armor patch here. Hey up. Don't worry, Herbie.
You're ready for it. The Activision acquisition was mobile. What's the Xbox plan for future mobile gaming? Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time since we announced the Activision acquisition. We completed in October. And the whole thesis about that, a lot of why we did it was about that.
Well, that's actually not because of Activision. That's primarily because Activision Blizzard's King, and King is the maker of Candy Crush. King is the real moneymaker there in terms of mobile. Obviously, you've got Hearthstone from Blizzard and then Call of Duty Mobile, but it's really King that's making a lot of that money. And that's actually an acquisition that Activision Blizzard made in like 2014, 15, something like that.
We feel strongly that there has been an opportunity for there to be an experience on mobile that is centered around gamers. We talk a lot about how there's 3 billion gamers in the world. 2 of those billion play on mobile.
Well, and this is a problem that Facebook is running into, because that Facebook is running out of people. So Facebook cannot continuously project this user growth, because at a certain point you reach what's referred to as market saturation. Well, what happens whenever you've saturated the whole world? Well, until we find aliens to use Facebook, you're not going to have year-over-year growth. That's it. And Microsoft is hitting that same point because Microsoft is a $3 trillion company. Like anybody that's big, like basically, and you see this with Meta, they're actually taking initiatives to get people like on India online, to get people in other rural parts of the world online.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Because he cares about those people? Maybe he does. Maybe he does, and this is a secondary effect. But the primary reason is because those users are now going to use his product so he can continue growing his company. He's planting a seed to harvest the fruits. It's not because he cares about the environment, it's because he wants the fruits.
And half of those actually play on mobile and they play on another device. But there isn't actually a gaming platform store experience that is centered around players and goes truly across device, where who you are, your library, your identity, your yours.
Roblox, opinion discarded. Opinion completely dismantled and destroyed. Roblox. Like, no.
Travels with you versus being locked to a single ecosystem.
Down to 30 seconds.
And we recognize that opportunity for a long time.
Xbox ecosystem is locked to Xbox ecosystem. Like, it's not like you can play PlayStation games on Xbox. I think Steam is supposed to do that. To be fair, I think Steam is actually, Xbox is more ethical and more consumer-friendly than Sony is. And I don't even think it's worse. And it's like, it's always very funny to talk about this, right? Because it's like, oh, so which one's more Sony or Microsoft? And meanwhile, Nintendo's just like, you know, that's it, because Nintendo's working on multiple platforms. But we don't ever talk about that.
The time we wanted to make sure, and being joined in the team has real deep expertise in mobile was important. But we are that now.
Yeah, and so that's again Activision to a lesser extent, King to a greater extent. I think that the reason why she's not talking about King directly is because it could seem like they're transitioning to mobile-focused games, and it could make them seem less serious in the eyes of more consumer-focused and like there's more gamer-focused markets. I think that's why. I don't know.
Mess with the Amazing Spider-Man!
And so in July, we're going to be launching our mobile store. You're ready for it! We're going to start actually by bringing our own first-party portfolio.
Now, why does this happen? Why are they making their own mobile store? So if you look right here, you'll see that the Google Play Store takes a 30% share of app revenue. So based off of this number, it makes me believe that actually this makes a lot of sense to Microsoft. In fact, it might even make entire dollars. I would assume a lot of them. So yeah, they isolate themselves for 30%. No, they're not going to isolate themselves. They're probably also going to offer it on the Google Play Store, and then, like, slowly over time. Because I'm going to be honest here, I really don't like how the Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store, for like whatever it is, the Apple Store, for apps, I don't like how they have a dual monopoly on all smartphones. I think it's very consumer-friendly, and I'm actually glad
This is real firepower!
I wish there were more competitors in the gaming space besides Steam. But the truth is that no company besides Steam has, like, none of them have proven themselves to be worthy of our money. Epic Games is okay. It's alright. But, like, Steam is the best. Good old games? Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right. I guess they have different games. I don't really use it, so I could be wrong about that.
Portfolio of that, you're going to see games like Candy Crush show up in that experience, games like Minecraft.
Yeah, King.
And then we're going to extend that capability to partners so that they can also take advantage of it and have a true cross-platform, gaming-centric mobile experience. We're going to start on the web. And we're doing that. That really allows us to.
By the way, this is a very smart decision for Microsoft to make, and I think this is a good idea for them to do. This is very smart.
You might want to look at the experience. It's accessible across all devices.
I think that they can pull it
no
off.
matter what.
I think so.
The policies of,
I'm not sure.
Closed ecosystem stores. And then we're going to extend. So I'm excited about it. It's something that we wanted to do.
The Amazing Spider-Man!
And so, in July, when we at that point, it's beginning to see Candy Crush and Minecraft in it, or how
It would have to be.
We will see things roll out over time.
partners will be able to use it as well?
Our goal is to get partners using it shortly after launch. We really want to make sure we start, we scale, using our own IP first. That allows us to make sure that the experience that we bring partners into really builds on all of that.
It's cleaner.
This is real firepower!
And this is time, especially for the academic acquisition, how big that market really was, when we really see it in traction. Is the gaming any particular scenario? How is it?
I think cloud gaming is going to be the future. I think so. Everybody's joking around about it, but I think that it will happen.
This feels good. Watch it again.
Google Stadia is just too early. I think in South America, right?
This is a nice spot.
But I'm not sure.
60 seconds left.
Cloud gaming, for those that don't know, I don't know if everyone here in the audience is familiar with it. It's just the ability to play a game natively in cloud.
This is real firepower!
I am ready to put on a show.
And you can experience something that's AAA Xbox gaming on any device, regardless of the local compute that you have.
It's hard to explain.
And we have been investing in that for some time because we really believe that opening up these beautiful immersive experiences to more gamers is important for industry growth, for developers, and people want to play.
Well, it's also because this unlocks a new audience. Like, for example, in South America, China's mainly mobile. South America, America is a lot mobile too, but like in many places in the world that aren't like developed Western countries, there is a much lower rate of people that have like good gaming PCs to play these high quality games. So if they can nail cloud gaming down, at least to where it's playable, then they're going to be able to actually sell these games without other audiences. That's why these companies are trying to do it.
And we're seeing tremendous growth there. We have more demand than rolling out more capacity, introducing more options so people can jump in and play on the cloud.
And is it growing faster than the overall market? We were talking about
I am ready to put on a show!
It is growing faster than the overall market, really bringing in new players and growth for us. So it's an area where we're investing.
The current score is 2.
Earlier this year,
It's hard for me to say that there's ever going to be a game like Valorant that could be played over cloud, right? Based off of like how fast you have to react to things and everything.
Open your
But
eyes.
I think that
Reality
maybe
is
you
but
could do it if you had the same tech that fighting games have with like input rollback. But I don't know. Like I'm not. I'm not sure. Okay. But I know games like Honkai Star Rail, you can do it for sure. Games like Age of Empires, you can probably do it. There's a lot of games that you can do it with pretty easily. Maybe in 10 years. Yeah, no, cloud gaming is something that will happen. It's just a matter of when.
Xbox announced for the first time that it was bringing a slate of Xbox-developed games, Xbox exclusive
Be
games.
wary.
to
Open
rival
your
platforms,
eyes.
to Sony,
Reality
PlayStation,
is
Nintendo
but an
Switch.
illusion.
That obviously
There is
was
only
a big
one
change. It was a little bit
sorcerer.
unsettling for some of the Xbox hardware fans. How is it going so far? Do you have any data about
what it takes to
how the games are
protect
doing?
mine.
Do PlayStation gamers really
No
satisfied?
matter the price.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
it's early days yet, so I don't have specific data to share, but we are really encouraged by the reception of our games. And one thing that I think it's important to note
The battle starts in
is,
5.
as Xbox,
4,
we've been putting games
3,
on other platforms
2,
for a long time.
1.
Minecraft is available pretty much universally. The teams at Bethesda have games on other platforms. The teams at Activision, Blizzard have games on other platforms. And so it's a decision we just make on a game-by-game basis as we move forward and continue to execute on our strategy.
I'm also a big fan of Microsoft games. I like the fact that you can play Microsoft games on PC as well as console. Like, for example, they could have made Halo Infinite console only. They didn't, and that was really great of them to do. That's why I said that, Microsoft in a lot of ways is the most consumer-friendly big publisher, more so than Sony at least.
At the same time, of course, Xbox itself heritage is in console, and the energy around the console right now is a little challenged. Many of the hard
Console's lost leaders anyway. They lose money on console sales. That's my understanding. So, like, what's this fixation on trying to force people into buying a console that they're losing? I feel like this is a pretty stupid business model.
Consumers are worried. They're worried about going to some other platforms. They're worried
The Sorcerer
that,
Supreme lives once more.
Xbox is defocusing its own hardware. What do you say to them? How do you make them feel?
Those are the Xbox Bros on Twitter. This comes straight from Twitter Xbox Bros. Starfield Defenders.
Yeah, the worry that I see industry, specifically for gamers. My focus really been on engineering and building that experience that really
Okay, so they're saying they don't give a fuck about Xbox and they think that I think what she's saying is what I think. I think she's saying they don't give a fuck about Xbox and they know that it's only a matter of time.
By the eye of Agamotto!
To be honest with you, I think she's right. I think they're right. Like, there are so many things that are converging at the same time, where, like, mobile games are cannibalizing the audience of console players. Cloud gaming is getting better. and the price of a console is still getting closer to the price of like an entry-level gaming PC that in some cases can do, if not the same, if not more than what the console is. Obviously, gaming PCs are still much more expensive at this time. But the price
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Yeah, I think they're totally right. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, it's only a matter of time. And we're seeing this too with like, I know like there were some leaks about the new NVIDIA cards and everything. But I think that what we're going to see more of, especially in the next 5 years, and even more so in the next 10 years, is dramatic price reductions and different tools and different resources that like computers need, like price reductions and like, because generally with a PC, most of your money goes into your graphics card and your processor. Everything else is like pretty cheap comparatively, right? And so as soon as they nail that down and they can make much cheaper products, then you're going to see gaming PCs. And I'm not saying that consoles are dead. I think that there's always going to be a place for consoles. But making that your business model, I think, is living on borrowed time.
I talked about this a little bit publicly a few months ago. I talked about how, you know, our focus is on delivering the biggest leap ever.
Yeah.
And that's about really thinking through every aspect of what that hardware and what that experience delivers with the core gamer in mind. And
yeah, I think what she's saying is that the Xbox is not what it should be. And I think that she's right. Like, I think the PlayStation is better than the Xbox in pretty much all ways. And on top of that, the Xbox serves no purpose. Like, for example, in Nintendo Switch or a Steam Deck, you can play on the go. For a Wii, you can get up and move your arms around it. There's no, like, unique value that a Xbox provides.
It is about power performance, that's absolutely part of it. But it's also about the ability to be able to play all of the games. I mean, we have people who have been playing on Xbox for decades and invested thousands and thousands of dollars and hours with us. And to be able to take all of those games with them into the hardware of the future. So what?
This sounds a lot like they're going to try to do something with cloud gaming. That's what it sounds like. Tablet gaming? Well, that would be the same thing.
One of the decisions I made when I came in and became president of Xbox
By the eye of Agamotto!
ensuring future generations.
Can Nintendo fucking hire those people? Did somebody send this to Nintendo? Holy shit.
You know, the next part of that is saying, okay, I get to bring those games with me, I'm investing in those games, I get an incredible high performance experience on my console, but also continuing our commitment to make sure that gamers can bring their games with them wherever they want to play. That my Xbox library is something that can go with me and that I can enjoy with others. So our long-term commitment to cross-play is part of that, and our commitment to preference and cloud saves, pick up on
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Brilliant.
Us against the world!
There is part of that.
Yeah.
And also our investment earlier, a lot of gaming are people who own a console, they're just, they want to play it and their flags to play somewhere else. So that's the second piece. And then the last piece is about Game Pass. We know our core users love Game Pass. Game Pass is a game subscription. You get games. But importantly, you get every single one of our games that we build, they love in Game Pass. And the quality of those games has only been going up over time.
I don't think that's true. I think we all know that's not true. She knows that's not true. Not really though, right? So, Like, hopefully next year it'll be better.
Don't give them another inch.
Yeah,
Or
hopefully
higher
next year will, because like Halo Infinite was fucked, Redfall, like I guess the only one that was good was Hi-Fi Rush. That came out that was like an Xbox like only game. At least as far as I know. Like, let me think. Starfield was bad. I mean, Forza, yeah. Like, I don't know who plays Forza, right? I'm not sure. They fired a company for it. Yeah, it's just. I think that this should be true. Like, what she's saying should be true, but it's not yet. And I think this year is probably one of the worst years. Like 2023 was probably the worst year for Xbox's reputation ever.
More really big games going into Game Pass later this year.
From Activision's
across the whole slate.
Not even
Across
close.
the whole slate. You're
Oh,
gonna
they had
see
a pretty
some really
bad one in
amazing
like
things.
2014.
And keeping that
Besides that,
something
yeah.
that is really special for Xbox players is central for us.
A lot of the focus at this conference today has been AI, but
Ooh.
AI for gamers is a little
Ooh.
different than we talk about AI for the enterprise or for
Yeah.
healthcare. Where do you think AI will be important, both to players and to game
everywhere.
developers, and how is
Yeah,
Microsoft
what do you
investing
mean?
against that?
Yeah. I didn't hear all the talks today, but I think we can all confidently say that we are right at the beginning of what AI means for us as a society.
Yeah, obviously.
And for businesses in general,
Obviously,
and that's
yeah.
absolutely true in gaming as well.
Yeah, these fucking clowns on Twitter who think that if they get a viral tweet that gets 10,000 likes, the Xbox is going to cancel AI. Like, I'm sorry, but these people are in for a very, very bad awakening. Like, that's not happening. AI is going to be the future, and it's going to replace the majority of jobs that exist. And in a lot of cases, it will not replace your job, but it will make somebody else be able to do your job twice as fast, which means that the guy next to you gets replaced, and you're doing both your job and his job. That's where I think it's really going to come in.
For us, we take our responsibility around AI as Microsoft very seriously and being really, really thoughtful about what we do. And as Xbox, there's something really unique about being a gaming company that is part of a major AI company. And so all of our focus within our team is about how we ensure that gaming AI is really crafted in a way that delivers unique and delightful experiences to players and adds real value for developers.
I'm gonna be honest, if they had just made Starfield with AI, it probably would have been better than if they had released it. Like, they should have just had that whole thing done by AI. It would have been funnier. She's saying nothing. Well, what she's saying is like, so she can't really answer this question entirely because of the culture around AI. There's like still a really big culture, especially inside of like the games industry, that's like super anti-AI because they view it as cannibalistic towards their careers, which they're right about. So like, she can't come out and say, we're going to be using AI for everything because it's going to massively help us do everything. But that's clearly what they're going to do. Everybody's going to do this. Microsoft isn't special. Every company is going to do this.
So there's three things we look at as part of that. The first is around developer velocity. How do we give developers tools to make it easier for them to realize their creations, to speed up iteration cycles, and also, frankly, to make it easier for people who may not have as much in-depth training on game development to build a game? We know that with that, there's just going to be a huge proliferation of gaming content and options out there.
Well, this is already happening, right? And it started happening, I would say, like 3 years ago, because that's whenever a lot of the indie games now like started getting made, maybe 2 years ago, or I'd say 2 to 4 years ago, somewhere around there. Who cares? But like, she's absolutely right. Think about how much easier Unreal 5 made it to make games.
I'm not judging.
Like, you see new shitty games come out all the time, but they look amazing because they're made in Unreal 5. Yeah, this is going, and it's only going to become more and more true.
I'm the Punisher.
So
I will bring peace
that
to this
leads us
universe,
very naturally
no matter
to the next
cost.
layer
I'm not
where
a
we're
hero.
investing a
I'm
lot,
the
which is
Punisher.
around discovery and making sure that people can really be matched with the game experience that we know that they'll love, and that a whole range of creations can be discovered from the biggest games, but also from something novel and new that you may not have intuitively known to look for, but you're gonna love if you experience it. And then the last piece is around the actual experience in the game.
Yeah, the marketing probably could be better. She's right about that.
Engagement, delight, playing through and having a fun time, and not getting stuck. All the things that come with that, so that you can get really the most out of the game experience. So we are early in this, as I said. You'll see us share things, and things will come out during the year. Our focus is really continues to be on keeping players at the center, keeping the developers at the center, and how AI can.
All you need to do is capture the missionary. Got it?
All right.
Yeah. I feel like this went about as good as it could have gone for her. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think there's anything that she could have said. There's nothing that she could have done that would have made the questions about, for example, the Hi-Fi Rush studio and everything. There's nothing that she could have done that would have improved it. She just didn't have, there's no way. Yeah, it was very corporate state. Well, yeah, of course. Absolutely. No shit when she's speaking for the corporation. But and also, I feel like Microsoft is under a really big microscope right now, because obviously the FTC lawsuit that they just went over, you've got everybody hating on them right now because of the studios they closed. They had one of the most embarrassing years of first-party launch games that I think any studio has ever had, ever. Let me think. What else besides that? Oh, AI. They've invested billions of dollars. Didn't they buy OpenAI? And everybody hates AI, but everybody also knows it's the future. So you've got to tread this imaginary line. It's yeah. Xbox is constantly killing. Yeah, exactly. Growing, which is amazing. My brother is invested in Microsoft is getting 1.5%. Yeah, OpenAI is huge, right? So I think that they don't want to say certain things. This is the video. I feel like in general, this was a pretty good interview. Now that I've seen the interview myself, I'm actually kind of confused why Twitter was so angry about this. Because I feel like, what do you guys think? I feel like she gave the most comprehensive answer that she could have for why they got rid of those companies. I really do. She said basically the metrics you see aren't the metrics we see, which is really what else could they say? Yeah, Twitter's not good at understanding corpo speak. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, journalist was good. Yeah, she was. I thought this went really well. Twitter cries and her people don't sugarcoat everything. It was a great video. Yeah, I think so too. Because she didn't apologize. Well, of course they're not going to apologize. Of course, that would be the worst thing that they could possibly do. When people lose their jobs to AI and can't afford to pay rent, who will these companies look to for growth whenever no one can pay? The companies will start asking, I think the companies will start lobbying for universal basic income. The cycle Judge! I think that's what it's I think it could happen, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only way that it could make sense to me, but there might be a couple of key things that I'm not thinking of. To be honest with you, I'd have to really think that out.
I am wounded. Who will help? I'll have to fight alone. You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Huh. I bet we could learn from that.
Yeah, and I bet, here's really the truth. I bet internally, a lot of the guys that are working on Diablo 4 are like, oh fuck, we need to do this in our... See, I told you they'd like it. Wait, look at the chat. See, this was my idea. I said this would be good. Why didn't we do this? We could have done this at launch. Yeah, they're probably mad. It's the same thing as Power World with Nintendo. Nintendo's mad about this? Yeah, of course they're mad. But I guarantee you, the guys that are working at Nintendo were probably playing Power World. Bro, I told you you should have had this. Why didn't you? Why can't we get the money to do this? Yeah, 7 levels of bureaucracy. I bet so. Yeah, because a lot of these guys, I bet they're PoE players. I bet they love PoE. They're probably going to play the PoE too, the beta when it comes out. I think that Blizzard is, if anything, I think it's just in a chokehold of bureaucracy. And I feel like so many companies are like that now.
Instead, Rod decided to retreat into this tweet.
Oh.
He stuck his head in the sand like an ostrich and
Only
started to
cowards
scream.
see shades of gray.
Let me just read it one more time. Feels like the genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like roguelike and roguelike, I wonder if we could normalize Diablo for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula. Right. The genre does mean many different things. Diablo's biggest competitors are doing something incredible. But instead of giving them a kind of bow and not saying anything, Rod went out and seriously pitched other games to implicitly named after the series after these games. And if they stray too far, then they cannot be compared to the precious Diablo. This is hilarious, and what some people have said for years away about Diablo 4.
I feel like people look at what is an ARPG? Isometric game where you loot items and you can kill things.
Got it?
There it is. That, like, if you want to, like, what do people think like ARPGs are? That's basically what it is. It's a quick game.
Yeah. So but now the Duke in charge is saying it too in a thinly veiled manner, and it's the only thing he'll ever say about Path of Exile and running your games. Essentially, he's trying to say Path of Exile isn't a Diablo-like anymore, so it cannot be compared to Diablo 4.
Wow, that's a pretty good advertisement. I think I might play it more than this. Hey. Oh, it's not like Diablo 4? Oh, wow. Say no more.
We should stop trying to match up the two, which is just absolutely massive cope. What's even crazier is the term Diablo-like has been around forever, since the days of Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. And it's how grinding your games describes their own game. They said it was a spiritual successor to Diablo 2, way back in 2010. They recognize the genius there.
It's very obvious that PoE, especially PoE 1, early PoE 1, was a lot of it was like copy pasta from Diablo.
Assistance.
We all know that.
Pleases me to be helpful.
But the game is good.
Yes.
If they have an intellectual property dispute, that's their problem. I don't care. I do. And if somebody else can copy pasta all your stuff and do it better than you, I'll play that.
This time I need healing.
This is not my issue. It's not my fight.
Thanks.
And they built on it, and now they've created a darn good sequel to their first game, putting all the care, love, and effort into it that they need. Rod Ferguson is scared. He is threatened, so he's lashing out. I love
Is he still around? He's gone?
Second chance.
Yeah, what happened now?
On YouTube and in my workplace, it's exciting to see. Grinding Your Games has made something tremendous with Path of Exile 2. It has been shivering, and the game isn't even out. You know what this reminds me of? All the game developers coming out and saying to not expect games in line with the quality of Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah. This is, you guys can't expect us to make a good game. Meanwhile, Space Marine 2 is like such a narrow, it's such a narrow experience, but it's really good. We don't need Baldur's Gate 3. We just need what's in the game to be good.
Tremendous success on release.
6 on IGN's PC Gamer.
An anomaly, a standard other devs shouldn't be held to. That was a hilarious line of logic, and Rod seems to be going down the same path and sniffing the same copium. What's even juicier is that Grinding Your Games now this issue of the ARPG genre. That the ARPG genre has problems with endgame, content delivery, and iterating on systems. They decided to refocus their efforts on doing exactly that for their huge launch. Something that
exactly, like that's the main weakness that a lot of ARPGs have, is like the end game for them is very like kind of weak. Like that's why I kind of stopped playing Last Epoch. I didn't really like the end game that much. I thought the campaign and the gameplay was great. I thought it was fun, but it just didn't really feel like I was.
Pick your hero.
Didn't really feel like I was doing a whole
I'm not
lot.
Judging.
They didn't do.
That's just me.
Exile 1, Diablo 4 hasn't done, and Last Epoch didn't do either. They recognized this and decided to act instead of just.
I'm not a hero. I'm the
Immediately
Punisher.
as he saw the genius Path of Exile 2 presentation, He knew what could potentially happen. If grinded your games succeed in their goal, crafting a game just as deep as Path of Exile 1 with
I
a far
actually
better
do.
onboarding
Just a
system.
second. I actually do think that PoE 2 has the ability to cannibalize the Diablo audience in a way that PoE 1 can't.
That's how I like it.
Because PoE 2 is coming out now, and a lot of the systems in the game are going to be made more accessible to new players. PoE 1 is, to be honest with you, very inaccessible to new players. It is. You can do it. Of course, if you're a new player, you know, like, all you have to do is watch, you know, like, the 4-hour guide on how to start playing the video game, and then you'll understand it. That isn't cannibalizing.
It's actually a bit
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, that's a bad word for me to use. Yeah, because it would be eating its own content. No, you're actually correct. It will actually, like, take market share away from Diablo 4. And the reason why is that also, if I look at the visuals with PoE 2 and with Diablo 4, I think PoE 2 is way better. I do. I think it's way better. I think it's way better in terms of design, and I think it's also way better in terms of fidelity. So,
I'm hunkering down.
Like, I mean, there it is, right? It's like PoE 1 doesn't have that. I mean, like, yeah, you've got, like, you know, the Searing Exarch boss fight that looks really cool, right? But it's nothing compared to this. In terms of, like, visual fidelity, again. Better designs, everything. Yeah, exactly. Quick to move is a fence. Well, here's what's really funny about that. In PoE 2, you can use WASD to edge on fence. Problem solved.
Now I'm getting mad.
So yeah, yeah, great idea. You're totally right. So I do think that PoE 2 will actually not cannibalize, will take market share away from Diablo 4 in a way that PoE 1 was not able to, because of its graphical fidelity, it looking like a next-gen game, and also the fact that it's much more accessible to new players, and that it's a new release, so people don't feel like they're getting in on the game behind. Put all those things together, and you have a tremendous competitor to Diablo 4. And it's free. Huge fucking bonus.
The darkness.
Clear explanations of crafting, skills, the campaign, endgame, and everything else. Diablo 4 is cooked, and Rod, thereby, is also cooked. Path of Exile 2 is looking stellar, and he knows it. Coincidentally,
I don't think that Diablo 4 is cooked. I just think that I don't think it's going to reach the highest level or even Diablo 3 on Chatting with 150 people in charge of Path of Exile 2 live on Twitch and YouTube on November 26th at 5 p.m. time, 11 o'clock p.m. CET. Yeah. If you'd like to tune in live, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube or follow me on Twitch. Additionally, like the video and help like me. It really helps, and it's completely free. I'll see you in the next video. Stay sane, my fellow Exile. Yeah, this guy, I mean, I've watched a lot of his PoE, Talkative Tree, I've watched a lot of his PoE videos in the past, and I really like his videos. It's great. I'll link you guys his video. And this is very, very, very true. Imagine if you want to play PoE. Here's the thing, is he was asking about PoE. He asked, I think he like responded to like Rob or somebody, and he was like, yeah, is this going good? And I was like, yeah, it is. It's really good. And the thing is that I don't know, like, because, you know, he I think he's, like, kind of busy, right? I feel like he's kind of busy. So he might not have enough time to, like, really get a lot out of PoE, because he's unironically the Diablo 4 audience. You know, like, 3 wives, 12 kids, 5 jobs. So, yeah, it's going to be an issue. But if he does play PoE, and I feel like, you know, if he had more free time, I feel like PoE would fucking, that would be the game, man. Yeah, that would be the, yeah, he's got Doge too as well. Yeah, forget about that. Elon loves complex skill trees. Oh, I mean, I hope so. I mean, that's a big one. And what if he becomes the #1 PoE player too? Well, Ben would be pretty upset, right? I mean, I don't know. Take a vacation on December 6th. Yeah. What about story, PoE versus Diablo? The story for PoE versus Diablo. I think that the Diablo story is pretty weak.
30 seconds
I
before
also
you
think
attack.
that the PoE
Get
story
ready.
has like a lot of highs and lows.
Get in here, y'all.
It's never really been about the story. The story is kind of just like a story. There's some parts of it that are interesting, but I think I probably like the PoE story more than the Diablo 4 story because I feel like it takes risks and it does things that I didn't necessarily expect it to do, and I like that. PoE has a story. Yeah, it does. No, it definitely does. Like with Cirrus, like no, I listened to all the dialogue, I clicked all the little things, and I know all the stuff, right? PoE has a campaign. It does. PoE lore is good. It's good. It's not S tier lore. And also, even by the way, you know who agrees with me on that? Is Chris Wilson. He said, he's like, yeah, we just kind of made up some bullshit story whenever this game came out. And he even said with PoE 2, they're trying to like actually really nail down a legitimately good story. Killing the gods with Sans cool. Yeah, I think so too. Every day we get closer to PoE 2, Diablo 2 becomes less, Diablo 4 becomes less relevant. I think so too. I wish I didn't have to play Diablo 4 in my 70-hour work weeks. It means that I can't invest enough time into PoE 2. But you can, man. This is the thing. Just play on standard. If you're a super casual player, just play the game on standard. And then you can work towards something in a very, very long-term way. Just take it slow and have fun. Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I think that, like, it's, again, it's like a feeling of success, right? Whether you feel like you're having success with it or not, it's kind of up to you. Staying in standard? Oh, I'm not. No, I'm not staying in standard at all. I'm going to play every week. Or not every week, right? I usually play every other week. But that's what I like to do. Never play on standard. The economy gonna respond. Yeah. I need some range fire. Dump all their stuff. I'll be right back.
We are undefeatable!
Dragon Age, the Veilguard, the game that people insisted and ensured and promised that yes, in fact, let me go ahead and look at this tweet. This is a really funny tweet. Wait, he deleted the tweet. Basically what happened is that Dragon Age came out, and Dragon Age became an unfortunate battleground for, the video game culture here, where, you had characters that were turned into effectively like modern representation. Executioner! And in general, it seemed like this game took every opportunity that it could to take advantage of like a current social issue. It did that in spades. And I played Dragon Age a lot. And so when I'm talking about this, I didn't finish the game, but I played it for 135 hours. About half of that probably was me just leaving the game on overnight. But I went through pretty much every character companion storyline, and I almost completed the main story, but I didn't finish it out. So basically, this game came out, and it came out to raving tremendous reviews. Everybody was saying this game was going to be insane. But anyway, so Jason Schreier made a tweet and he said, go, oops, top the charts. And this was to make fun of the people who were talking about how like, oh, this game being woke is going to kill the game. It's going to, this game's going to be unsuccessful, right? Well, so actually, I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on. And so Jason Schreier, unfortunately, was captured by reality and decided to leave the element of reality. And unfortunately, we're snapping back to reality today. The sales for this game were 50% of what they were expecting. The game was projected to have 3 million players, and it had 1.5 million. And also, this is players, so keep in mind, let's use some logic here, all right? We're gonna talk about logic. A company releases data from their shareholder report. Shareholder reports are meant to ensure like competence and confidence in the shareholders, right? Like they're meant to raise the value of the company and communicate the value in a way that is most beneficial for the people that are running the company. So if you look at this logic, if they said 1.5 million players and they did not say sales, that means that probably the 1.5 million players is the most positive metric that they can use that is factually true. So it would even go to assume that it was under 50% of the sales expectations. Do you see kind of what I'm saying here? Because it would be logical that in the shareholder report, they would want to report the data points that would be most advantageous to them. And so if 50% is your best case scenario, think about what the actual reality is for the sales. Game Pass beta, promotional copies, yeah. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, that's the best case scenario. I played it, but I refunded it. I think the game had some decent combat and, you know, it had decent character building I enjoyed, but overall, I'm not surprised why this happened. I'll tell you that. And so we're going to look at some of the information about this, and we're going to see how the game did. So, obviously, there was a lot of celebration when Dragon Age the Veilguard first released because the game seemed to have a lot of players. It had 90,000 players.
No
and now it's been floundering, and it has 3,000 players. To be fair, this is a single-player game, and the majority of people that would have played the game have already played the game, and they've moved on. But unfortunately, for at least them, not a lot of the people even moved in the first place. So if you go to the Dragon Age Veilguard subreddit, you'll see that you have a bunch of twit-longers and essays about justifying addressing the anti-woke crowd. The issue with Veilguard is that BioWare currently lacks an executive truth. No, it's that none of that had to do, like, there's an executive. No, this is the problem. My advice to fans, look at the game The Identity. How many of these games have to fail and cause a studio to close in order for people to realize that putting in
Yeah, I've got COVID again. This makes number 5 for me. I'm the mic.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Future belongs to mutant kind.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
You know what to do, Spider?
The mighty Magneto. We have much in common.
In that we are both despised by the people we strive to protect and lead.
Quite so. For a mortal, you are very perspicacious.
I'm counting on you, friends.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
What is a hero? An overgrown child with a weapon.
Enemy on I feel like myself again.
Your god is suffering.
This is real firepower! Hey, idiot! Turn around! You are under my protection. Armored up! Your attacks are futile. Your powers are mine! This is real firepower!
This is just one of your tricks, right, Orky?
You are under my protection.
What kind of person is next on the top of the enemy?
Coming through. Rebirth is a mutant's greatest gift.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks. It's spider time!
Armed and dangerous! Again!
You cannot hurt me.
DPS.
They are in front of us. Fast! Race! You better get him.
They made it halfway! Stop them!
Much better.
You're welcome! Bring on the chaos! Hey, Dee! Enjoy the amplifier! I'll patch you up.
There's still a chance to stop them!
By the eye of
Hey, can you come first, please? Initial tank.